I was going to start off by asking, do you remember the first song that made you believe in the power of music?
That's a great question. The power of music. I'd probably go back to when we were kids. You know, when we used to like listen to like Stand By Me in the living room with Dad. Remember?
Yeah, and stand on the fireplace.
Yeah, we used to like in our old house. We used to have like a marble fireplace, and we used to like.
That was a glass, wasn't it?
No, it was marble. Pretty sure it was marble.
I thought it was like the blue tiles. I thought it was glass.
It could be marble, it could be glass, it could be anything. But it was a fireplace. We're standing on it anyway, and yeah, I just remember just like my dad, telling us to do the actions. We're doing like the proper Oasis, Liam Gallagher stands and stuff, and just singing like "Stand By Me." We knew the words.
That was like one of the first songs we ever learned
to
sing, was it?
Yeah, and I just remember just having that moment with you and with Dad, learning this now, like the words and singing it with us, and proper feeling like this is ace. This is cool. Music's quite a cool thing at that age.
For me, I would say mine would have been more recent. I'd probably say about 2016, 17 for me is when I realised how powerful music can be, and it's just like when you're going through you see it on the internet, like when people are going through rough times and they say like music's helped them get through things, and I didn't experience that until like 2016, 17 when I went through a bit of a rough patch, and music I would say really helped me get through it. Music from the Beach Boys especially. It's a random band, but knowing like what went on in their time and what I was going through was a bit similar, and so the music kind of spoke to me in a way. But that'd be my answer. Recent power of music, something else.
And being brothers as well, Kyle, do you remember the first time that Lloyd inspired you? And Lloyd, do you remember the first time that Kyle inspired you?
I actually do, yeah. I remember.
That's a good question.
I remember being in school when we were like in secondary school, and we had to do like our folio for music, and see if you remember songs. I can't remember what the words are and stuff like that. But you wrote a song.
Someday.
It might have been. And there was one where it was in like the small drama room, upstairs. Remember, in school.
And what happened?
You recorded a song in like the 4-track.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to it and being like, fucking hell, this thing's I'm pretty sure I got emotional.
I remember years ago you said to me that I wrote a song, it was called Someday, and you were like, that song was ace.
Yeah.
It was like someday I will be here. It was a coupled one, I was playing like G, and then the chorus was like harmonised, went someday, someday, someday I will show you the way, everything will be okay.
Yeah, something like that.
I remember that. I remember that chorus anyway.
I remember that, hearing that at school and being quite emotional. I must have failed a math test or something, because I don't think I would have been that emotional anyway. But yeah, no, I remember that. What about you for me?
God, that's a good question.
I know.
When did you inspire me?
Alex is coming out with the questions.
I can. I think maybe not so much inspire, but you kind of drive me to try and write better songs, because I try and compare my songs with your songs, especially lyrically, not so much musically, but definitely lyrically. And I try and just write the best song I can write lyrically. And I think for me, I'd say Yours Now Forever is probably one of your best songs lyrically. Like even the first line, like sorry but I missed your name, I was fixated by your eyes. Like that's mad. I think that's mad. So like I don't know if you so much inspire me, maybe you do, but like the songs,
I hope I do.
Well, the songs that I've been writing and kind of jotting down on my phone, if I get an idea, I'll jot down a line on my phone, and I feel like I'm just trying to write like how you write. Like,
you can never compare yourself.
Well, no. Well,
to me,
I don't know if it's comparing or if it's inspiring. So I don't know. That's such a hard question, Alex.
You've thrown Lloyd there.
I know.
Lloyd's had a malfunction.
I'd probably have to say that. Like, my lyrics, you inspire me to write lyrics, I suppose. Like, the way that you write lyrics.
It's a nice thing to hear, though.
Yeah. Telephone's nothing like your lyrics, though.
I know, but then it's good that you're doing your own thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's good that you're actually just like, see, like Lloyd's music-wise, Lloyd's kind of been stuck in a bubble of his own kind of like your own like sound
world.
that you like, what you like, Beach Boys, Beatles, and stuff like that. So,
Wasps.
so yeah, yeah, the Beach Boys and stuff like that. So I suppose you coming out your comfort zone a little bit recently, and getting into like modern day bands has been, inspired you to write this kind of stuff as well. But
Yeah.
I suppose we've all kind of helped you to kind of get to these bands.
Well, I remember when I wrote Under the Moonlight, and I had just 2 verses, and then you spurred me on to write another verse,
Yeah.
which was the last verse.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember you and Greg were like, "Can get another verse in and that song will be it." And I was just like, "Nah, the song's done." And you were like, "Nah, get another verse." And I was like sitting at the keyboard like, and I just churned out the last verse.
Fair play, though.
How do you feel your chemistry's kind of developed since you've been in the band together and kind of over the years, and how do you feel it's changed?
Yeah, I think it's 100% brought us closer. A 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think as well. We used to like bicker a lot in our teenage years just because of what we were going through puberty-wise and stuff. So I think we.
Yeah.
No, well, it was.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like
I'm still going through puberty.
a bit of bum fluff in your face. But yeah, I think we used to not get on a lot, and then when the band started and stuff like that, and as we got older, we kind of realised that when it comes down to it, there's only like it's just me and you, is it really?
Well, yeah, like obviously.
When it boils down to the
Going like obviously when we were kids we fought because your brother, your sister, your twin, whatever, they are your enemy at a young age. Like you just hate them, and we just fought and fought and fought, and then as we got older, we started fighting less and arguing more, like verbally, right? And I think as the band's gotten more, I wouldn't say serious, but serious and like bigger, like you kind of realise we do need each other, and like, yeah, well, 100% we've gotten closer. Like we play FIFA together, which we never used to do, but we've started playing FIFA together.
It's all about that FIFA. And once you
FIFA brings you
FIFA
together.
with your brother,
the
that's when it
band and
happens.
FIFA like come together. No, yeah.
I just think we're going through quite similar experiences right now, which we've came together as a proper unit, like we're proper brothers now. I feel, as opposed to what we were before. But I think we just look at each other just as like we're related, we're twins. So what?
Yeah.
Whereas now I think we're proper like proud to have one another. You know what I mean?
That thing that I said a while ago about us being in each other's lives. Remember that?
That's deep though. Don't go into that.
No.
That's far too deep.
I'll summarise it because I've said it and can I not say it now? Basically, I says like one of us obviously is going to die first, but then one of us will be in the other one's lives for their whole lives. Like obviously our parents will die, so they won't be in our whole lives. But like if he dies before me, I will be in his life, his whole life, and then he wouldn't be in my life, my whole life.
That's just deep stuff. That is. We're going down the rabbit hole here, like.
That's drunk conversations. That
Very much.
Do you remember the first time that you wrote music together and then shared it with your family? Remember the first time you shared music that you'd written with your family?
Yes, Solitude. Because I wrote all the other ones myself.
well, you wrote Solitude yourself, but I like
You spurred
got
me
you,
on.
got you in the mood for it.
Well, I was writing a song at the time, and it was like very similar chords. And
Was it?
I'm sure it was.
I remember trying to write a Miles Kane kind of song, and it was like kind of on an electric guitar, and I was like, I remember sitting at my window, and I got you through, and I was like, I'm not gonna write a song with Miles Kane, and I was like, I just don't know where to start, blah blah blah. And Kyle was like, I'll write a song and I'll see what like, and then he came back and it was Solitude, absolutely nothing like Miles Kane.
I remember it completely different. But
Nah, that's how I remembered it.
But no, I remember showing Mum and Dad, and I remember them feeling pregnant. We've also had our own works beforehand. You know, we're both, before we were in bands, we used to write songs anyway. Just that's what we used to do as musicians and as artists. So we used to write, and I suppose like you've wrote some good songs, like back before we were in bands and stuff, and I've wrote some good songs as well before bands, and like a lot of my stuff was in college what I wrote.
Yeah.
But I think like as we became, like Capollos, and as we've started like developing our songs and stuff, we do sit down and there's things that we've done like together where we think that's so cool. Let's go and show like Mum and Dad or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that,
no, but when we finish a song, we'll always get them through and play it to them.
Yeah, and see what their thoughts are. I mean, I know it's your Mum and Dad. I mean, I know that they'll probably just say,
"Oh, it's good.
That's really good. Yeah, keep going. Oh, look at you, kind of sitting down together and playing guitar and stuff." But it is still quite nice to get that assurance from your parents that you've actually, it's a good song.
I feel like mum and dad would say if it was rubbish.
I know, like they're quite like musical people as well. My dad was like a
Britpop, like proper.
raver and going like a bit of a Pavement mod back in his day. And then my mum was like a disco chick. She liked all like the like Diana Ross.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah, well,
He's not
like
disco, but
yeah.
she liked Rod Stewart and like Sweet.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So like they've got quite a good music taste. So they would actually tell us, you know what I mean, if we wrote a song it wasn't that great, or they didn't like a certain part of the song. So it is good to hear that from them. And obviously our uncle Derek, he taught us how to play guitar.
If it wasn't for him?
Yeah, if it wasn't for him we wouldn't be where we are. So it's quite nice to kind of show him how far we've came. You know, we have gatherings at Christmas time and stuff, and it's good to get that, you know, like a bit of a gathering.
Yeah,
and
always feel about guitars.
Feel about guitars and playing things we've got, or some chords we're looking at and stuff. There are folk behind us. I thought you were looking. So
You said something there where before you were in bands that you wrote songs. I remember the last time we did an interview, you said that when you release a song, it's kind of not really yours anymore. It becomes the people who listen to it. Have you ever written a song that you just want to keep for yourself and that you don't want to release and don't feel the need to release?
I've thought about that. Like, well, I've written a song and we played it as a band, and we've actually played it at gigs, and then we just stopped playing it because obviously Kyle would have written a song that we were going to record or whatever. But like Shuffle Over Baby, like remember we played that, and then again, that was my song, but again it was nothing like the band. Like it was very Shadow Puppets-esque and all that. And I've always said to myself, if I ever happened in this band and like if I ever broke up or whatever, I'd say about a collection of songs that sound nothing like the Capollos that would probably record and release myself. Then that means setting up my own Spotify and everything, does it? Like that's just effort.
It's getting deep again, like.
I've got songs that for myself, and if it ever happened, I could release that myself, and it's my music. I think that's the answer.
I think I've written songs in the past, like, well, now that Home's not out for a certain reason, I just haven't had the time to record it yet, but I wrote that song in 2018 when I was in Bali, and it's just not came out yet. I just due to the fact where I suppose I'm forever developing that song. There's always something going on. There's always something that I want to change.
Like we even do that with songs now.
I think when you record a song and you can hear it back, it's good. But when it's not recorded, it's still
in the works.
It's still unfinished essentially. So
yeah.
I've kept Home like quite. I've only played it twice live, and then I've done it like acoustically for the band's Instagram and stuff. But I've never actually. I wouldn't say it's a finished song. And there's also another one as well that I wrote called Midnight Revelation.
That's a good one.
But I just never, again, I was never 100% happy with it. I do, like, when I get to a song like that and I'm not 100% happy with it, I will keep it and I will try and develop it. But you do kind of like, you are walking on thin ice with that point of your song because you could overdevelop it, which then becomes a completely different song to what you had in the start. And that's, I think for a musician, I think that's probably something that's not the best thing to do, you know, carry on trying to perfect it. Sometimes it's just better in its raw form, if anything.
I agree. I've never had that though.
But
I feel like when I write a song and I finish it, I feel like that's the song done.
I think there's always room to improve.
Oh yeah, absolutely, but not for me. I think all my songs are perfect when I finish them.
When do you get closure from a song then? Like, there's always room to improve. How do you know when it's finished? When do you get that sense of completion from it?
When it's recorded and you can't do anything else.
It's when I go in the studio though, because there's things you don't hear in your mind that you will hear in a recording, or you will start to hear in a recording once it's like laid down. So when, like, try to think of any songs that, like for example, that I can maybe like suggest. Pretty sure in likes of Alive and stuff, like back in the early days, there was things I was sitting at our producer Michael's house, and I was just sitting there with the guitar and kind of wondering, like, I hear something in here, but it's not like actually in the song yet. And I was trying to figure out in the guitar, and when I eventually found out, you know, what it was, what the chords were, like it was then when I kind of like sat, you know, not the chords, where the melody was. Sorry, it's when I sat and actually started picking it out, and from there, like it was a bit now actually in the actual song and in the recording. I would never have heard that you know, in my mind. I always hear songs in my mind. I've actually got a song right now that I've got that's in my mind that we've demoed.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, we've demoed just in the bar, just with Lloyd slapping
my
his hands, and I'm kind of like doing some bass thing going on as well.
That was funny, that.
But I mean, yeah, like I'll never hear that song like that I hear in my mind. I just need to get as close as I possibly can to it, and then when I'm happy with it, I mean, you guys are always happy anyway. You guys think, oh no, it sounds fine, but for me, I sometimes always want to pick out something a little bit more, something that'll give it that extra like recognition that the song may deserve, and I suppose that's what I kind of look for, and that's what makes it perfect in the end.
When it comes to your latest single as well, Electrify, to me when I listen to that, it feels like one of the most direct, if not the most direct song you've written.
Yeah.
Is that quite a conscious choice, and if so, what kind of feel in that decision?
I suppose that song, it went through the works of being how it was when we were in the studio jamming to it to where it is now. I mean, the story's been, since we've done heaps of like promos of late, you know, for this single, and we did say, like Wahab says, it was a jam. We literally sat there and jammed it, and 10 minutes of like just us jamming. Yeah, like just a drum solo from Greg in between it. Yeah, it was like almost like it turned it like a jazz percussion kind of like
improv
setup. You know what I mean? It was just improv. Everyone was just doing it, and
we're screaming in the mics and everything.
Yeah, I think we were actually. But it came to the stage where, you know, when you're in the studio again, try to get that song to as powerful as I want it to be. I suppose that punk element of that song was never actually meant, but it came out like that, and I quite enjoy the fact that it's got that kind of punchy bass, like punchy guitar. The words were actually meant to be spoken. It was meant to be like a song for like almost like speaking as opposed to singing. That's just the way I imagined it in my head. But when I found out I actually could reach the peaks of the song itself, I decided that it sounded much better and much more fuller if I was to sing it as opposed to speak it. And
you found it frustrating to speak it in
there's
practice?
a few songs that we've had in the past where I've been at a bit of a limbo point of vocals where I don't feel like I'm overperforming my vocals. I don't feel like I'm underperforming them, but I don't like where I am. So I either need to go above or below. And this song I had to just go and push my vocals to the extent where I did. But again, like that song's just went kaboom for us, which has been great. And I think we've gained a lot of new fans from that single. I think when it was released, you know, during lockdown, everyone was on their phones, which was great for the time being. You know, because when it was released, everyone was just wanting to get a new, you know, a slice
no
of
one was working.
Yeah, we had a new slice of the Capollos when we came out, and it was good. It had its traction, and it's still going just now. You know, we're kind of coming to the tail end of the single now, you know, with its release. But I mean, we're so proud of it. We're all dead proud of it now.
Yeah.
I think like for all of us, we found our sound a while ago, and this is a kind of like, I say this single was like the kind of like the cherry on top of the sound that we've got now. And I think anything below this single for us now would be a bit of a failure. So we're just going to keep on par with Electrify and above.
Speaking about finding that sound, with that sound, do you feel that meaning or melody is more important to it and more key to it? And its success?
Good question. I'd say they're both. I'd say both of them are like count for the same.
Music or melody?
Yeah, I think both count for the same. You need something that hooks you in. You need something that's going to capture the audience, whether it's a riff, whether it's a line. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, it's the music's got to be, you know, really there. You know, the riff that we've got bass-wise, you know, for that, like just the run on the bass.
For Electrify?
Yeah. It was just cool as, wasn't it? You know, when you finally, like, we found the sweet spot, and I found the sweet spot when we were jamming it. That song had potential from the beginning, you know what I mean? And I'm glad I put lyrics to it because I think the lyrics are really, really cool. I think a lot of people have been, like, you know, speaking about it on Twitter and stuff, and they enjoy the lyrics. You've got other people that say, like, just love that, like, that bass run, I love the solo, I love the breakdown of the song at the tail end of the song, and I like hearing it all, you know what I mean? It's nice to hear all this kind of different takes on, like, another perspective, you know, the song itself. So for me, I think it should be an even balance of both having the music and also having the actual meaning behind the song itself.
I would agree. I don't know if you've seen the same poll I seen on Twitter, but that was a poll on Twitter I seen. I don't know whose account it was on, but folk. The question was like music or melody, what makes the song? And I can't remember what I said now, but at the time music was winning by a lot. In the melody, it was like 85% music. I can't remember how much votes there had been as well, but I kind of agree with that. Like, obviously, like, I think when up and coming bands like us and other bands, when you release a song, folk don't really know the words necessarily right away. They can't go online and Google like lyrics to this song. They have to learn it. So maybe folk can appreciate the music more than they do like the words and the melody.
True.
But like, yeah, like how you're seeing people spoke about the song and this part, but like I agree with that as well. But a lot of folk are saying like the start of the song, which I agree with as well. Greg's drums at the start and then my bass coming in, and even when the guitars come in, it's just right in your face.
It just sets the tone for the song itself.
Yeah, like
which
it pushes everything to the front. And like, this is like we're putting our cards on the table. This is what the song's going to be like. At the start of the song, there you go. Prepare for this.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, music for me. Both, but more music.
I'm down there. I'm sitting on the fence for this one.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
No worries at all, man.
Alex.
Cheers.